Hello, hello. Are we live? Well, I guess the match is starting. Hello and welcome everyone to my coverage of the third T20 International in the Women's Ashes from Lords in London. My name is Leah, and I run this YouTube channel called Bescheuertes kurzes Bein, which is German for silly short leg. And and I'm proud to present in conjunction or partnership with Guerrilla Cricket coverage of the Women's Ashes, as they are pretty much over capacity over at Guerrilla Cricket. Well, let's begin this. England win the toss and bowl first. The England team. Number 1, Sophia Dunkley. 2, Danny White. 3, Alice Capsey. 4, Ned Silver-Brunt. 5, Heather Knight, the captain. Number 6, wicketkeeper Amy Jones. At 7 is Danny Gibson. At 8, Sophie Eccleston. Number 9 is Sarah Glenn. Number 10, Charlie Dean. And 11 is Lauren Bell. Australia are number 1, Beth Mooney. At 2, Alyssa Healy, captain and wicketkeeper. At 3 is Talia McGrath. At 4 is Ash Gardner. 5 is Lise Perry. 6 is Grace Harris. 7, Annabelle Sutherland. 8, Georgie Wareham. Number 9, Jess Johansson. 10, Megan Shutt. 11, Darcy Brown. Well, England open with Charlie Dean, who is hit for 4 and another 4 of the first 2 balls by Alyssa Healy, who on the 4th ball rotates the strike, and on the 6th ball, Mooney keeps the strike by hitting another single. After 1 over, Australia are 10 for no loss. Well, let's talk a bit between overs of what this is going to be here. I was asked by Guerrilla Cricket to live tweet the Women's Ashes, and I did that, and a lot of people asked me if I couldn't do this on video as a live stream, something like that. And so I got in touch with Nigel Walker and with the Bear, Hendo, and Tony, and asked if it would be okay to, well, cover the Women's Ashes on a live stream here on YouTube on my channel in cooperation with Guerrilla Cricket. As you can see here on the screen, I'm doing this in partnership with guerrillacricket.com. Go follow them on Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter at the handles there. More after this over. The second over for England is bowled by Ned Silver-Brunt, who starts with a wide. The reballed bowl is a dot to Mooney. The second legal delivery is also a dot. I guess I'm not really going to do here a traditional ball by ball, because I'm flying solo here, and I was thinking about doing more of a watch along, hangout together, and doing basically that stuff that I did on Twitter for the first matches here as a live stream, where you, of course, are able to get in touch. And I see Mutley. Hi, Mutley. Please do get in touch in the chat. You can of course also tweet at me, but the YouTube chat for now is absolutely fine. But if you don't have a YouTube account, I will also look at Twitter. Well, Netzeva Brandt is hit for a 4 of the fourth ball of her first over, by Healy, Alyssa Healy, who is the far more attacking batsman for Australia. Healy is 13 runs off 5 balls, while Mooney, for now, seems content to play a bit of an anchor role, being 2 runs off 5 balls on the other end. And oh dear, oh dear. Netzeva Brunt to Healy, and she's dropped. That's not good for England. They will rue this, because if Alyssa Healy gets alive, she generally makes it count, which is absolutely not what England want. Because right now the situation in the series is that Australia won the first test, they won the only test, won the first T20, and England are barely alive in this series, because it's not like in the men's Ashes. This is a multi-format series with 4 points for a test match and 2 points each for every limited overs game. And as there are 6 limited overs games, this means that all in all, there are 16 points up for grabs. And Australia already have 8. So the best thing England can actually... No, Australia have 6 points, sorry. So the best thing England can hope for here is... the only way England can stay alive in this series is if they win every match from now on. Otherwise, Australia will retain the Ashes no matter what. The third over is bowled by Lauren Bell, who bowls a dot and then concedes a single to Mooney. Australia 17 for no loss after 2.2 overs. Yeah, I'm just looking at the chat. Sorry, Matley, you didn't miss much. Let's say that. Another reason for why I'm not doing a traditional ball by ball is because I'm in Germany, and it's a pain to find or to stream cricket in Germany, even if you pay for it. It's Willow is available on Sling, but they don't really care about that here for Germany, so coverage is a bit spotty. One of the worst information infrastructures in the developed world doesn't really help either. So I'm going off live pictures as they are available, and I'm also having ESPN Cricket Info up. Muttley, interesting. Working on Dungeons and Dragons stuff. We are going to play Dungeons and Dragons tomorrow as well, actually. My girlfriend is in the other room and working on her campaign. All right. Well, Bell has so far been pretty good at keeping the runs down. She has conceded only 4 runs of 5 balls bowled in the third over, which is actually quite okay after the first over that went for 10. The second over went for 6, but there was a boundary in there. And now the last ball of the third over is also a dot. So that means Lauren Bell has bowled England's most economical over of the match so far. After 3 completed overs, Australia are 20 for no loss. Oh dear, oh dear. Well, Broad has Murphy, as I'm informed. That actually means, yeah, England are in with a chance here in the men's test match. I think. Yeah, Scott Boland at number 11 is in. Yeah. The lead for Australia, 237 runs, which is not that. I wouldn't say it's bad, because there was a Jared Kimber article a few years ago where he pointed out that actually the magic threshold for a fourth innings chase is around 250 runs. So Australia are 13 short of that. And the third over is bowled by Charlie Dean, and she has Alyssa Healy out LBW first ball of her first over. Alyssa Healy LBW bowled Dean 16 from 10 balls at a strike rate of 160, and the drop in the second over actually isn't that costly for England, because Healy was 13 runs at the end of the second over and only added another 4. No, 13. She added another 3 runs. So this drop didn't prove that costly for England. Lucky them, I guess. And my live coverage is dead again. All right. Well, that means after 3.1 over, Australia are 20 for 1, and Talia McGrath walks in at number 3. Yeah. Yeah, Matley, yes, get in England. I think it's really important that this series stays alive a bit longer, because there are now 3 ODIs to go, and if England lose this match, the Ashes are retained by Australia, because they hold them at the moment, and if they win this match, they would have 8 points out of 16 available. Well, but Dean not only gets a wicket first ball in the match, in the over, she's also keeping Australia very, very quiet. We have a single to McGraw, then a dot, a single by Mooney, another dot, and then a single to McGraw, meaning The fourth over goes for 3 runs and 1 wicket. At the end of the fourth, Australia 23 for 1. Beth Mooney 4 runs. Talia McGrath 2 runs. Let me check Twitter for a second if anyone is going to get in touch on Twitter. No, nothing there. If anyone is tweeting to the Gorilla Cricket account, let's see that. Let's check that. Nope, that's all about the men's test. All right. Let's see. No, Lauren Bell comes back for her second over, and she is hit for 4 runs off the second ball by McGrath, who actually missed the chance during the test match to post the highest score in test matches by a McGrath for Australia. She only managed to equal Glenn McGrath's record of 62. I think it's 62, isn't it? If anyone knows any better, please correct me on that. But I think it is 62, the highest score in tests by a McGrath for Australia. After that boundary, Bell manages to keep McGrath relatively quiet for 2 dots, and the Australian run rate drops below 6. It's currently 5.78, which is not that great, to be honest. And there's the third consecutive dot by Bell to McGrath.
Needs to go. We haven't done
5 hours of rain today as well.
And a fourth consecutive dot, meaning Australia, after 5 overs, are 27 for 1. The fifth over goes for just 1 boundary, basically, and 5 dots. Beth Mooney on 4, Talia McGrath on 6. And just to update you on, or to update everyone listening on the men's test, it's all over now. Broad got hit, just got hit. Travis Head caught Duckett, Bolt Broad 77. That means Australia lead by that magic 250 runs. The chase is set up, but I guess England will back themselves to chase that down during the baseball era. Back to the women's match. Charlie Dean gets the third. And she is hit for 4 by Mooney on the second ball of her third over, the 6th overall. Australia are 31 for 1 after 5.2. Yeah, it will be quite interesting to see what's happening in the men's test tomorrow, weather permitting. And Dean bowls another dot ball to Mooney. And England women drop another one. This time it's Beth Mooney who's dropped off Dean. And this time, Charlie Dean has no one to blame but herself, because she dropped herself. It's a botched caught and bowled chance. Mid on prevents a single. Mooney then rotates the strike, and McGrath punishes Dean for another 4 runs. Which means the run rate has climbed up above 6 again. And the last ball of the over is a dot. After 6 overs, Australia are 36 for 1. Talia McGrath is 10 runs off 11 balls, and Beth Mooney is 9 of 15. And the pictures are back. Very good, very good. Yeah, and Charlie Dean kisses the turf during that botched caught and bowled, sprawling across the pitch. But overall, yeah. Yeah. Well, Danielle Gibson replaces Lauren Bell. And she's bowling this relatively full and wide, and Mooney happily takes a single. And off the second ball, McGrath does as well. Australia now just rotating the strike, probably trying to keep the bowler off balance with that classic tactic of a right hand, left hand combination. Oh, what are we drinking? Yes, we are drinking a Weizen Pale Ale, a wheat pale ale. Nothing really special. It's a well, it's a craft beer that's sold at Lidl. So nothing that special, but it's fine. It's fine. It's a line of beers they have there that they call craft beers, which is it's really, the cans are interesting because they're designed in a steampunk kind of way. And that is out. Gibson, Hess McGrath, Talia McGrath, Court Capsey, Bolt Gibson 10, and Ash Gardner strikes in at number 4. And I mean, she's really dominated the test. I think she's probably the leading wicket taker for Australia during this series, and if Australia don't refer to this, if they win it, as Ashes, well, they're really missing the trick. First ball to Gardner results in a single. It's flicked towards square leg by Gardner. The next ball by Gibson to Mooney is pushed out vaguely into the cover point region for another single. And the last ball is a dot. So at the end of 7 overs, Australia are 39 for 2. The third over brought 3 runs and 1 wicket. The current run rate has fallen below 6 again. Ash Gardner is 1 of 2 and Beth Mooney 11 of 17. The England bowlers to take wickets are Daniel Gibson and Charlie Dean, both having taken 1 wicket. Yes, Daniel Gibson has bowled 1 over, has been hit for 4 runs, and taken 1 wicket. And now England introduce Sarah Glenn into the attack, who is greeted by Mooney with a 4. Oh yeah, Matley saying that his favorite beer is Hobgoblin. Yeah, I don't think you can get this here in Germany, Matley. I'm sorry. And I don't actually think that Brexit has made it any easier to import English beers into the EU. The second ball of the 7th over is a wide down the leg side. The second legal delivery is again hit for 4 by Mooney, which means at this point in time Sarah Glenn's economy rate is a staggering 27. Not the best. And the third ball is another 4. Which... What? Actually lowers her economy rate? Yes, the math checks out. The fourth ball is just a single to Mooney, who is starting to play more shots to enjoy herself. She is now 24 of 21, and thinking she was in the first overs, she was somewhere around. Yes, at the end of the fifth, she was 4 of 11. Now Ashley Gardner is actually the one to nerdle it around a runner ball. She takes a double of Glenn, and it's 3 of 3 balls. And the last ball is another dot, meaning at the end of the 8th over, Australia are 55 runs for 2 wickets. That over went for 16 runs. The current run rate now approaches 7 again. Ash Gardner is 3 of 4. Beth Mooney 24 of 21. And Sarah Glenn's economy is 16. Looking at the bowling performance of England, the standout bowler, without a doubt, Daniel Gibson, who bowled 1 over, took 1 wicket and conceded only 3 runs. 3 singles at that. So yeah, Matley, I'm guessing they will actually take her off. Let's see. Well, interestingly enough, Gibson doesn't get a second over. She's replaced by Sophie Eccleston. Why is that? Introducing okay, maybe it's the boring middle overs and England opt for more of a spin approach here. England opt for a spin approach, maybe in the boring middle overs, trying to keep the runs down here with the left arm spin of Sophie Eccleston. And of the first 3 balls of her first over, she concedes only 2 runs. So the ploy seems to work, at least for now. Nope, doesn't. Eccleston's hit for 4 of the 4th ball by Mooney. The Australian run rate now over 7 again, which I guess is the bare minimum at almost halftime of an innings. And my video is way behind. Thank you for that, Sling. It's almost an over behind. Well, Eccleston actually finishes off the over relatively tidily, conceding another single on the 5th ball and then keeping Gardner to a dot to end the over. After 9 overs, Australia 62 for 2. Gardner 4 of 7, Mooney 30 of 24. Eccleston 1 over, 7 runs and no wicket at an economy of 7. So, please do get in touch in the YouTube chat or on Twitter if you got any questions, anything you want to talk about. Please do message me. Right. And if you're interested in the men's Ashes, of course, over there at Gorilla Cricket, give them a follow. Visit the website. They're providing top-notch, free cricket commentary for every match of the England teams, except for when there's so much cricket going on that they don't have enough people to do it properly, which is where I come in and take some slack off them. Yeah, thank you very much, Gorilla Cricket, for making this possible. And we have Nat Silver Brunt back into the attack for her second over. After she had Alyssa Healy dropped in her first over, she's now keeping Australia to singles and dots, actually, with her right medium. She's going over the wicket to Gardner. And on the last ball of her over, Nat Silver Brunt has bowled Beth Mooney. Yes. The furniture is in disarray. That was very good. Very good. Beth Mooney bowled Nat Silver Brunt 32 from 27 balls at a strike rate of 118.51, meaning Australia are 66 for 3 at the halftime of their innings. Ash Gardner the only Australian in at the moment. And she has 6 runs from 10 balls at a strike rate of 60. And that should actually be drinks, I think. Generally, there's drinks after 10 overs. Yeah, Matley, the collapse is on. Yeah, might well be, but no. Or is it really a collapse? We had the fall of wickets. We had the first wicket fall for 20 runs, the second wicket fell for 37, and now 66. I would say there's a steady flow of wickets for England. I wouldn't really call that a collapse yet. For a collapse, they have to fall for a lot. For way fewer runs, I think. What's going on? There is no sign of drinks yet. It's probably just hasn't been updated. I will take this opportunity to just step out to the balcony and to, well, feed my addiction. Be right back. All right, I'm back, and there is Daniel Gibson is back into the attack for England, and she's hit for 2 boundaries of the first balls of her second over. First a 6 by Gardner, then another 4 by Gardner after a dot. Making this over relatively costly compared to the first one that went for only 3. Yeah, in Australia, accelerating. The current run rate is above 7 again. And Gardner is now over a runner ball on 17 runs from 15 balls at a strike rate of 113. Elise Perry is at number 5 for Australia, and that one single Gibson conceded to Gardner on the 5th ball means this is the first time she's on strike, but she can't yet get off the mark. At the end of the 11th over, Australia are 77 runs for 3 wickets. The 11th over went for 11 runs, and the current run rate, therefore, is exactly 7. Ashley Gardner will be on strike for the 12th. She's 17 from 15. Elise Perry is none from 1. Yeah, and now Daniel Gibson's economy is also on 7. All right. And I can tell you that over in Headingley, they're still playing. They're still playing. England are chasing 250 exactly. And after 3.2 overs, they're 25 for none. Zach Crawley on 8 and Ben Duckett on 17. Back to the Women's Ashes, the third T20 International at Lord's. Sarah Glenn is brought back for the 12th over, and she's greeted by Ash Gardner, who smashes her down the ground for 4. The rest of her over is much better from her. 3 singles and 1 boundary in all for Glenn here. At the end of after 12 overs, Australia are 84 for 3. Ashley Gardner 23 of 19. Elise Perry 1 of 3. Sarah Glenn has bowled 2 overs, conceded 23 runs, taken no wickets at an economy of 11.5, and Daniel Gibson has bowled 2 overs, conceded 14 runs, taken a wicket at an economy of 7. So let's see to what score England can keep Australia. Looking back at the first 2 games, the winning score in the first game by Australia was 154, and the winning score in the second one was, of course, 186, which that was the game that England won by 3 runs, even though Elise Perry's heroics of the last 2 balls, hitting 2 consecutive sixes of the last 2 balls of the innings. And we have Sophie Eccleston back. Spin again. Maybe in hopes of drying up the runs a bit. Well, it's kind of working. She is hit for 3 singles of the first 3 balls of her innings, meaning the run rate for Australia is dropping below 7 again. It's dipping a bit. And looking at the warm graph on Cricinfo, Australia have pretty regularly lost their wickets, and if that is any indication, it's kind of time again for another Australian wicket to fall here. The 5th ball of Eccleston's over is smashed through cover, through extra cover. Eccleston hit by Gardner for 4, meaning the first 5 balls have gone for 8 runs. And a double by Gardner, meaning Eccleston has conceded 10 in the 13th over. Australia 94 for 3, Gardner 31 from 23, and Elise Perry is 3 of 5. Who will England bowl for the 14th? We have one bowler who has bowled 3 overs, and the rest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5 bowlers who have only bowled 2. Charlie Dean, the only England bowler to have bowled more than 2, and it's Nat Silverbrandt back for England into the attack for her 3rd over. And the first ball is a single. I'm kind of surprised a bit by the decision to bring Nat Silverbrandt back this early. Because looking at the economy rates of the English bowlers, there's only 2 bowlers right now in the match that have economy rates below 5, and those are Nat Silverbrandt and Lauren Bell with 4.8 and 4.0 respectively. And I would have probably saved them for the death. I don't know in what sequence I would have bowled them at the death, but combined 4 overs from Nat Silverbrandt and Lauren Bell would probably, in my opinion, be the way to go for the death overs. even though Bell hasn't taken a wicket, but in a limited overs match, I always go with a good economy rate for my death overs, I would say. And Nat Silverbrand is just doing that, keeping Australia relatively quiet. 4 balls in the 14th over bowled and only 3 runs scored by Australia. And I can also tell you that stumps have been drawn in Headingley, and Australia are 27 for none, needing 224 runs. Well, that's set up to be a thriller tomorrow or on Monday, depending on the weather. And Nat Silverbrand does it again. Interesting. Nat Silverbrand has Gardner out, caught behind. The keeper is standing up to a medium bowler, and yes, and a medium pace bowler has Ashley Gardner outstumped. This is why I love women's cricket, because you don't see that kind of stuff in men's cricket. Anyway, Ashley Gardner stumped Jones, bowled Nat Silverbrand 32 at a strike rate of 128. How good was that? It's a bouncer, and she's outstumped. Grace Harris in for Australia at 6. And she's off the mark right away with a single. After 14 overs, Australia are 98 for 4. Elise Perry 5 from 8 balls. Grace Harris 1 from 1. And Nat Silver, the first England bowler to have more than 1 wicket. Nat Silverbrand, excuse me. And Lauren Bell comes back for her 3rd over. There are 3 singles off the first 3 balls. Ooh, the sky above Lords is looking ominous. Let's hope it keeps dry. Apparently it has been belting it down in London earlier in the day. And now we're seeing a replay of that Outstanding stumping. Stumped of a medium bowler, medium pace bowler, of a medium pace bowler's bouncer. Nonetheless, extraordinary stuff. Extraordinary stuff. That definitely is a moment of the match moment. It's a candidate. It's definitely a candidate. How good was that? Well, coming back to what is happening right now, Lauren Bell completes her third over, conceding 8 runs. At the end of the 15th, Australia are 106 for 4, with Grace Harris on 7 from 4 and Elise Perry on 7 from 11. Lauren Bell has bowled 3 overs, conceded 16 runs, taken no wickets at an economy of 5.33. As I said, Nat Silverbrandt, the only England bowler with more than 1 wicket, from 3 overs. She took 2 wickets. She conceded 14 runs at an economy of 4.66. And that is a rain delay at Lord's. Sorry I jinxed it, everyone. Shouldn't have been talking about it, but it looked really, really grey in the skies above Lord's. Let's see if I can find out. Oh, there's yes. It looks like a really, really heavy shower. Umbrellas are out in the crowd. There's some stuff that looks like a Bundeswehr NBC poncho. Yeah. Players are off. I don't really know at what time we would have to restart to not lose any overs. Ground time is around 20 minutes to 8 right now. Let us see. Please do tweet in. Or participate in the YouTube chat. Anything you want to know. Just ask. I'm willing to talk about a lot of stuff. Well, now that there's a rain delay, that gives us a chance to look through the scorecard so far. As I said in the beginning, England won the toss and decided to bowl. A decision that is looking better and better. Australia opened with Alyssa Healy and Beth Mooney. Alyssa Healy, the captain and keeper, was out LBW, bowled Dean for 16. Beth Mooney was bowled by Nat Silver-Brunt for 32. Talia McGrath was caught by Kepsey bowled Gibson for 10. Ashley Gardner was stumped by Jones bowled Nat Silver-Brunt. The scorecard actually says caught. She was stumped. For 32, Elise Perry not out 7, Grace Harris not out 7 as well. There were 2 extras, both wides, meaning Australia, after a total of 15 overs, are 106 for 4. The wickets fell on for fall of wickets was 1 for 20, Alyssa Healy, after 3.1 overs. 2 for 37, Talia McGrath, 6.3 overs. 3 for 66, Beth Mooney, 9.6 overs. And 4 for 97, Ashley Gardner, 13.5 overs. The bowling card. Charlie Dean bowled 3 overs, no maidens, conceded 22 runs, took 1 wicket at an economy of 7.33. Nat Silver-Brunt, 3 overs, no maidens, 14 runs, 2 wickets, economy 4.66. Lauren Bell, 3 overs, no maidens, 16 runs, no wickets, economy 5.33. Daniel Gibson, 2 overs, no maidens, 14 runs, 1 wicket, economy 7.0. Sarah Glenn, 2 overs, no maidens, 23 runs, no wickets, economy 11.5. Sophia Eccleston, 2 overs, no maidens, 17 runs, no wickets, economy 8.5. Well, let me just check if I can find out when we will have to resume before losing any overs. The big hover cover at Lords is on. The players are in the dugouts. Oh, and the covers are already coming off again while we see Sutherland practicing her strokes. All right. I'll be back in a second. And we are back. That wasn't too long a delay. They basically got out the hover cover, set it onto the pitch, stood around for a few moments, and then pulled it right back off. Well, the 16th over is bowled by Gibson, who is hit for 6. First ball by Perry. A back foot pull, and pulls the ball to the boundary, over the boundary at backward square leg. The next 3 runs, the next 4 balls are then taken for singles by Australia. And well, the Australian run rate is approaching 7.5 runs per over, as the last ball is a dot. That means after 16 overs, Australia are 116 for 4. Elise Perry 15 of 15 and Grace Harris 9 of 6. Daniel Gibson, who began so well, now has bowled 3 overs, bowled no maidens, has been hit for 24 runs, took 1 wicket, and her economy therefore is 8. I guess England will be... yeah. Oh yes. Heather Knight brings back Sophie Eccleston. After that 16th over, that went for 10 runs. Eccleston begins with a dot, then is taken for a single by Harris. Let's see. Sorry, I had to do some upkeep on Twitter. Well, the 17th over, bowled by Sophie Eccleston, goes for a mere 4 runs, which is probably exactly what the doctor ordered for England. Meaning, after 17 overs, Australia are 124-4, with Grace Harris on 11 of 9 and Elise Perry on 17 of 18. The run rate is back down to 7.05. And Netzever-Brandt is back for the 18th. And she's greeted by Perry, who belts her away for 4 runs. 4 consecutive 4s, actually. Which catapults Perry's strike rate from below 100 to 125. The third ball by Silverbrand is a double to Perry, who now starts to race away, basically. Taking a strike rate to 128.57, Perry 27 of 21. The fourth ball is another 4. And Ned Silverbrand is starting to look very, very ordinary in this over, I have to say. Another double of the 5th ball. And the last ball goes for a single, but the damage is done. I think 17 runs have been taken off the 18th over by Australia, bringing the total to 137 for 4. Grace Harris 11 runs off 9 balls, Elise Perry 34 runs off 24, and Ned Silverbrand has been taken for 31 runs of her 4 overs. She has taken 2 wickets, but you might actually say those wickets were kind of bought. Her economy is now 7.75, which is above the run rate of the Australian innings as a whole. So the question now is, who is going to bowl the crucial 19th over? It is Lauren Bell, and Lauren Bell has Elise Perry, LBW, first ball. The umpire has given it out, but Bell can't celebrate yet, as Perry has reviewed that. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, it's a legal delivery. There's no overstepping. There's a lot going for that. It's really straight, and it hits her plumb in front. And DRS is down. Wunder der Technik, as you would say in German. So that means Elise Perry, LBW Bolt Bell 34 at a strike rate of 136. Lauren Bell gets the big fish, and that brings Annabelle Sutherland to the crease at number 7. She's off the mark right away next ball with a single. We're seeing a replay of that Bell ball, and yes, I would have given that out any day. The fact that DRS is down probably saves Australia a review, to be honest, as the third umpire informs. No? Informs the on-field umpire that the on-field decision stands as DRS is down, but according to Crick Info, Australia have lost a review for that. Which is really rather unfair, I'd say. I think it should be handled like an umpire's call, because it basically is umpire's call. It's no fault of their own that DRS is down, and now they're down a review. I don't know. I don't think it's really fair. Anyway, the rest of the over, the last 4 balls go for 3 singles and 1 4. So after 19, Australia are 145 for 5. Annabelle Sutherland on 2 of 2 and Grace Harris on 17 of 12. That 19th over, went for 8 runs, but it brought England a wicket, and it was a very important wicket. It was Elise Perry, who basically threatened to turn the game around in the last over and a half during the last T20 match. That England won by only 3 runs in a rather high scoring game, I would say. The winning score being a 186, that is definitely a high scoring match. Ooh, interesting. Interesting. Heather Knight decides to close out the innings with some spin. And Eccleston has Harris dropped by Lauren Bell at short third man. Australia run 3. Which is fair, I guess. I'd say never run on a misfield, but is that really a misfield, or is it more of a would you I guess my point is, would you classify a drop as a misfield? I wouldn't. I mean, run anyway. If it's out, it's out. Yeah. Eccleston then can't catch a break as the next ball, Sutherland, is dropped at long on by Gibson. This is really England fielding. The men have been dropping dollies left, right, and center in the men's ashes, and the women are, yeah. As I'm seeing a replay of that drop by Bell, it's a clear case of not keeping your eyes on the ball. That was straightforward. Well, second time's the charm, I guess. Eccleston bowls Sutherland for 3 runs off the penultimate ball of the innings. Meaning Australia are 154 for 6, with Grace Harris out there on 25 and probably Georgia Wareham coming in at 8. And she will have to face the final ball of the Australian innings, and she does, and she scores a single. So that ends the Australian innings, which ends on 155 for 6. No. Strike that. they try a second, as you would, and Grace Harris is run out. Okay. So, Harris is run out by a collaboration between Kepsey and Eccleston for 25, which means Australia end the innings on 155 for 7. The scorecard for Australia then reads as follows. Alyssa Healy, LBW bowled Dean 16, Beth Mooney bowled Ned Silverbrunt 32, Taya McGrath caught Kepsey bowled Gibson 10, Ashley Gardner stumped Jones bowled Ned Silverbrunt 32, Elise Perry LBW bowled Bell 34, Grace Harris run out Kepsey Eccleston 25, Annabelle Sutherland bowled Eccleston 3, sorry. Georgia Wareham not out 1, 2 extras, both wides. Total 20 overs, run rate 7.75, 155 for 7. The bowling card for England. Charlie Dean, 3 overs, no maidens, 22 runs, 1 wicket, economy 7.33. Ned Silverbrunt, 4 overs, no maidens, 31 runs, 2 wickets, economy 7.75. Lauren Bell, 4 overs, no maidens, 24 runs, 1 wicket, economy 6.0. Danielle Gibson, 3 overs, no maidens, 24 runs, 1 wicket, economy 8.0. Sarah Glenn, 2 overs, no maidens, 23 runs, no wickets, economy 11.5. Sophie Eccleston, 4 overs, no maidens, 31 runs, 1 wicket, economy 7.75. Well. 155 runs. I think England will be pretty pleased with that. They were looking down the barrel of a gun of maybe 170 before they got Elise Perry. Healy was also well. She was out relatively cheaply with 416 runs. She was starting to put the pedal to the metal there in the beginning. I think England are pretty happy with their bowling performance in this case. So, yeah. Just checking some stuff. I had to set up a new streaming suite because my old one apparently doesn't work anymore with YouTube. So I'm sorry if there's some technical difficulties. I couldn't get my my little widget thingy that automatically grabs the score and puts it on the screen and stuff like that to work just yet, but please bear with me. I plan on getting better at this. This is really basically a last minute fix. So I'm sorry if it doesn't look that professional. Well, make sure you follow Gorilla Cricket on Twitter and me if you like what you're seeing here. And I will take a short break and we'll be back for the England innings. Thank you very much. Ja, doch. Bist du jetzt da gerade durchgelatscht? Das ist gut, da läuft ein Band Back Shortly rum. Ist gerade Innings-Break und ich habe gesagt, okay, alles klar, ich habe das alles durchgemacht und jetzt bin ich dann gleich wieder da. Back Shortly. Well. Welcome back for a quick update. The rain is back. The hover cover is back on the pitch at Lords, and the square covers have been unfurled. There will be a delay before England can start their chase. I can't really say what the weather is like at Lords. Being in Hanover and all that. I mean, the weather is fine here. A mere 500 miles away, something like that. And actually, further north than London. Well, as I said, there is a bit of uncertainty how long this rain delay will take. But the problem is that they have actually covered the square. Hover cover is on. I can't say how long it will take. Until then, I will take a short break. But of course, I will monitor the situation, and I'll be back as soon as England start their chase of 156. Until then, stay tuned, don't go anywhere. I will be back. All right, and we are back. The covers should come off are coming off. The groundsmen are furiously trying to get the water off the covers, mopping up, stuff like that. The Australians seem in a good mood at the edge of the field of play. And play should resume shortly. Oh dear, and I'm just informed that it's started lightly raining again. And we are now at a point where we are going to lose overs, and there has been an inspection called in about 6 minutes' time. Nope, about 3 minutes' time from now. We are going to lose overs, which means Duckworth Lewis Stern will come into play. Let's see. Damn. I have never really figured out how DLS works exactly. And I passed. Some math courses in university and in statistics and stochastics and stuff like that. Oh dear, I'm seeing the rain. It's getting heavier again. Oh dear, and the square covers are back on. The hover cover is, of course, still protecting the pitch. Oh, Muttley. Okay, yeah. You're probably right there. It's basically black magic. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. Well, the umbrellas are out for the England team while the players are sitting in the dugout. Those members of the squad not playing and standing in front of the dugout have their ECB umbrellas up. The Australians don't seem that bothered. They're standing out in the rain, strategizing or something like that. Well, let's hope this clears out sooner rather than later. Oh dear. The floodlights are on at Lord's. The crowd doesn't seem that big, to be honest, which is a bit disappointing. There's a lot of empty seats at Lord's, but I have been informed that all of the ODIs are sold out, and of course I'm going to cover them as well here on the channel. In cooperation with Gorilla Cricket. follow them. They make excellent content. Also follow White Line Wireless, who are cooperating with Gorilla Cricket in the coverage of the men's Ashes. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mudley. After the first innings beer being a wheat pale ale from the same brewery, the beer for the English innings is an Imperial IPA. Very steampunky as well in the design. And actually, quite a nice one. Yeah, it's really good. The art style is really good. They have a variety of beers, all designed in the same art style, and I actually own a complete set of cans. They have a German red ale. They have an Imperial IPA. They have a porter. They have a session IPA. What else do they have? They have what we call in Germany a Radler, which is a mix of beer and lemonade. Normally lemon, and it's really nice because it's generally you get a pretty normal beer, a pretty normal German beer like a Pilsner or something like that, mixed with lemonade. But they have a Radler that's an IPA and lemonade, which is a shandy. Okay. I didn't know that. Yeah, they have basically a shandy that's made from an IPA, which is very nice. What else do they have? They have the Imperial IPA, they have the Porter, they have the Radler, they have the Session IPA, they have the German Red, they have an Imperial Stout. Yeah, I think that's it. Around 7 varieties. Around 7 varieties. Oh, Foster's. Interesting. Yeah, but it's basically just another name for what is apparently called a shandy in your part of the world. There's a few different names for this as well in Germany. It's called Radler, which means bicyclist in German, because some gastronomer, some restaurateur came up with it to sell to the tourists who were coming to his restaurant, to his beer garden on a bike, and didn't want to get super drunk. So he basically watered down the beer with lemonade. So Radler is basically the southern German term for it. In the north, it's called Alsterwasser, meaning water from the river Alster. That's a really Hamburg kind of thing to call it. And of course, the difference is a Radler is normally made with a Helles or an export, and in Hamburg, it's made with a Pilsner, with a North German style Pilsner. Ah, interesting, interesting. You say that. Well, in Germany, it would never be made with a cloudy lemonade. A really interesting thing about that is that there's an Austrian Radler called Gösser, which is not actually made with a Sprite kind of lemonade, but with real lemon juice, which is really good. And then there's in Cologne, there's Gaffel Sonnenhopfen, it's called, which is not strictly a Radler. It's called a Cologne Pale Ale in international marketing materials, because it's basically a beer that is brewed with a Californian strain of hops that gives this beer a very citrusy flavor. Really citrusy. It's really interesting. Really, really interesting. If you can get it over there, give it a try. It's really good. It's really good. So let's see. All right, I can inform you that the square cover is being removed. It's being rolled up again. Should mean we should have play within basically the next 15 minutes. It is now 10 minutes to 9 local time, and I've been informed, or Quick Info tells me, haha, that the teams have to be back by 9:30 for a 5-over chase, which is basically yeah, that's the worst possible scenario. 5 innings chases, I don't know. This is like what you do when you have a few friends over and you put on Ashes Cricket on the Xbox One, and you make a F5 tournament or something like that. Hit and giggle, even more than a T10. Cricinfo have updated their match status from match delayed by rain to match delayed by a wet outfield. So that's good. Kind of. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Matley. There's Interestingly enough, I think there's no room for error in a 5 overs chase. You have to get going from ball one. You have to really hit it. And I think in that scenario, you actually do have license to hit out, to do all you can, because unlike in a in a video game where you play 5 overs a team matches, you are allowed to lose 10 wickets in these 5 innings. In most of the video games where you can play 5 overs versus 5 overs, you are considered all out if you lose, I think, 5 wickets. So the laws of cricket in the real world here are more lenient than video game stuff, which is, well, it's basically it's the most cricket thing ever. Mm-hmm. Oh, come on. What's going on? All right. Only the hover cover on. The square covers have been rolled up. Some Australians are chatting with the umpires. Now there's an Australian team meeting. I see Mooney and Jonathan. Everyone standing in a circle with a coaching staff. Perry talking to the team. Bit of a prep talk, I guess. The rope is being dragged around the outfield to try to get the moisture out of the outfield. The England openers are hanging around by the boundary. They're all padded up, ready to go. I think Danny Wyatt even has her helmet on. The hover cover is coming off. The hover cover is coming off, everyone. We are set to resume play very, very shortly. Heather Knight standing on the balcony, being perplexed about something, not understanding something. I don't know. She's wondering, asking administrative staff about something, shrugging her shoulders. That's all I can tell you for now, I'm afraid. Um, ah, yes. Ah, yes. Okay. Now we have an update. The match will resume in about 10 minutes. And England will need 119 to win in 14 overs. 14 overs. 114, 119 runs in 14 overs is. Just a second. That's a run rate of 8.5. Okay, England will absolutely have to biff it from ball one. Absolutely have to biff it. The Australians had a run rate of below 8. They had 7.75. And apparently, an average score for a women's T20 at Lords is in the 140s. So this is a steep ask from England, I would say. Muttley, you were saying before that what a dramatic finish that was, and that it's absolutely hard to call. And I agreed with you then. Well, yeah, it was. It made for a dramatic contest. But now I think with Duckworth Lewis Stern setting England a run rate of 8.5, I think Australia might actually be ahead. Might actually be ahead, I think. Yes, Australia's game to lose, absolutely. I would absolutely agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. I would absolutely agree with that. Let's see. All right. All right. I'll be back in 5 minutes for the resumption of the match. Don't go anywhere. Maybe go over to Gorilla Cricket. Follow them on all the social media apps. Maybe listen to some of their summary of today's play in the men's Ashes. And we'll be back in 5 minutes. Until then, see you. All right, and we are back for England's chase of 119 runs in 14 overs, according to the Duckworth-Lewis-Stern method. England need to win this game, may I remind you, to keep the series alive. There will be 4 overs of power play. And England open with Danny Wyatt and Sophia Dunkley. And the opening bowler for Australia will be Megan Shutt. I remind you, England basically have to go hard from ball 1 because the required run rate is a rather steep 8.5 from the beginning, and the first 3 balls of the innings go for a mere 2 runs, pushing the run rate up to 8.66 now. The 4th ball is a dot. And I don't know if England can really afford to get in. The English batters can really afford to get their eye in. I don't think so. The 5th ball of the inning is a single as well. Well, but then Shutt gives England a gift by bowling a wide, and she'll have to re-bowl the final ball of the first over, which is hit for 4 by Wyatt. And that means 1, 2, 3, 4, 8. The first over of the England innings goes for 8. Meaning England are within half a run of the required rate. After 1 over, England are 8 for no wicket. Danny Wyatt on 5 and Sophia Dunkley on 2 of 3. Megan Shutt bowled the first over, no maidens, 8 runs, no wickets, economy 8.0. The required run rate is basically where it was at the beginning, 8.53. And Australia bring in Darcy Brown for the second over. There's a slip for her. Interesting in a T20. Doesn't matter what gender. And the first ball is a single. Dunkley moves on to 3. Yeah, Matley, happy with 8 is, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, but I think the really important thing is you don't let the run rate get away from you at the beginning of the innings. You can't let that happen. Yeah. Um, I think once it crosses, I don't know, maybe 10, you're in deep trouble in this environment. Let me just check Twitter. All right. Oh, Anis Muhammad from the now sadly defunct Gorilla Cricket SA is going through my correspondence with the Bear about the graphic Tony sent me that you can see here. Go follow them. And is liking basically random stuff about me telling the Bear that I got the graphics they sent me. Guess I have to pull his leg a bit. Don't just like random stuff about administrative minutiae. Come and join the live stream. Better get the live stream address. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. Back to the cricket. Brown's radar seems a bit off. She's bowled 2 wides in the second over. Has been hit by Dunkley for 4 runs, and there is still a ball to go. We have 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9 runs so far of the first 5 balls. And I know it's the last ball is a dot. Okay. But that still means that at this rate, England are on track. The current run rate and the required run rate are identical, 8.5. And after 2 overs, England are 17 for no loss, with Danny Wyatt on 6 off 6, and Dunkley on 8 of 6. The third over is to be bowled by Ash Gardner, and she starts out with a dot. All right. On the second ball of the third over, Dunkley collects a leg by, which brings Wyatt on strike, onto strike, and Wyatt punishes Gardner for consecutive fours. That's the stuff. 9 runs off 4 balls of the third over. That's the way to go, England. Come on. Keep this alive. The last 2 balls of the over are dots, though, regrettably, meaning England are 26 for no loss after 3 overs of, I remind you, just 14, in which England have to get 119 runs. The third over went for 9 runs, and we have Sophia Dunkley on 8 of 8 and Danny Wyatt on 14 of 10. The Australian bowlers are Ash Gardner, who bowled 1 over, no maiden, 8 runs, no wicket, economy 8, and Darcy Brown, who bowled 1 over, no maidens, 9 runs, economy 9. Megan Shutt returns for her second over, and Dunkley takes a single off the first ball. Good thinking there, bringing Wyatt back onto strike, who has been the more attacking of the English batters. And she hits a 4. Taking her strike rate north of 160. Hey, Anis, hi, welcome to the stream, welcome to the chat. How you doing? How you doing, mate? All good, I hope? Yeah, too bad about Gorilla SA. Eh? Excellent. Excellent. I love it. I love it when people in the chat well, interact amongst themselves as well. And another 4 by wide. Another 4 by wide. Shot is being put to the sword here, I would say. The fourth ball is a dot, but England are already ahead of the rate in this for this over. Their current run rate is 9.54. And another 4. Wyatt hits shot for a third 4 of the over. Taking the English run rate above 10, 10.17 to be exact, and bringing the required run rate down below 8, 7.86. Yes, Anis, yes, exactly. Very sad about Gorilla SA. I agree, and I talked to Simon and Coach Dave, is it? Who bought up all the equipment and stuff like that. Yeah, and he's been, I have been on his radar as well and stuff like that because I didn't know that Gorilla SA had bitten the dust. So Simon put me in touch with Coach Dave because I offered my services for the winter if there'd be need. Oi. But back to the cricket. After being taken for 3 boundaries in the 4th over, Shutt takes her revenge on Wyatt and has her edge it behind to Alyssa Healy. That means Danny White caught Healy, bowled Shutt 26 at a strike rate of 173.33, meaning England are 39 for 1 after 4 overs. They are ahead of the rate, but that's a blow. That's absolutely a blow for England. Danny White played really well, very aggressive, giving England a shot at victory here by absolutely attacking the Australian bowlers. That brings to the middle Nat Silver Brunt. Who isn't facing the first ball of the 4th over though. That would be Sophia Dunkley. And she's out. Sophia Dunkley out. Caught Jonathan Bolt Brown for 9 at a strike rate of 90. And Darcy Brown gets a wicket with the first ball of her 2nd over. England 39 for 2 after 4.1 overs, still ahead of the rate, but you can't throw wickets away like that. Oh dear, dear. Anis, England have to get 119 runs in 14 overs, which meant that at the start of the innings, the required run rate was 8.5, and it is currently sitting, the current run rate is currently sitting at 9, and the required run rate is 8.27. Yeah, Matle, don't be too pessimistic. Otherwise, you might turn into Hendo. It's not lost yet. It's not all lost yet. The next English batter in is Alice Capsey, and she is on strike to Brown. And the next two balls are in fact dots. The fourth ball of the fifth is a single to Capsey. England still ahead of the rate. England still ahead of the rate. Well, Anis, I am actually really rather unbiased in this case because I'm an India fan. I'm just here for a good game of cricket. Really? I don't have any horse in this race. So I mean, that's fine. Look, in all this full member kind of stuff, I'm pretty comfortable because me being from Germany and being an India fan, it's okay. I think the one thing that would maybe put me a bit more in the England camp is the fact that if Australia win this game, the Ashes are gone for England, and I think it would be more interesting if the Ashes were still on the line going into the ODI leg of the series. So yeah, I wouldn't say that puts me on the side of England. It's just that I think there would be more to play for in the ODIs, which means that both teams would fight harder in the ODIs. And I'm really looking forward to the ODIs. Because I like ODIs much better than T20s, actually. Tests are the best. I'm really old-fashioned in that regard. That I like the formats in cricket in descending order of length, of duration, if you want to put it that way. Yes. Let's get some stats in. England end the fifth over on 43 for 2. The sixth over is to be bowled by Jonathan, who is hit for a 4 first ball by Nat Silver Brunt. Then there's 3 singles, and on the fifth ball, Capsy belts it for 6. Anis, that's a very interesting idea about the formats about the format. I think it's a really good idea if you play more than one test. You need to play more than one test in such a series. And maybe combine a test tour, an ODI tour, or a limited overs tour into one, I don't know, Ashes cycle. Maybe something like that. You know? That would be interesting. Yes, absolutely. What is that 100 ball malarkey you're talking about? I know not what you are talking about, Matley. I'm sorry. All right, at the end of the sixth overs, England are 57 for 2. The sixth over went for 14 runs. We have Alice Capsey on 11 of 7 balls and Nat Silverbrandt on 7 of 4 balls. Healy taps Sutherland for the 7th over. And it starts with the single, then followed by 2 dots. The current run rate of England is 8.85 and the required run rate is 8.18. This is definitely squeaky bum time. Yes, Matley, I can wholeheartedly agree with ignoring J.J. Abrams' track. Absolutely. Absolutely. In the match, though, Sutherland is keeping the English bats relatively quiet. We have 1 wide of the 5th ball of the over. We are, after 5 legal deliveries, up to 4 runs conceded by Australia. Need a boundary. You need 1 boundary per over at this rate. And Nat Silverbrandt delivers disposing of Sutherland's 6th ball of the over for 4 runs. Meaning the over went for 8 runs, which is actually above the now required run rate of 7.71. After 7 overs, England are 65 runs for 2 wickets. Alice Capsey is 13 of 9. Ned Silver-Brunt is 12 of 8. Excellent stuff from England. This excellent stuff. Yes, you're absolutely right, Anis. What is this? What's that thing? Why is there a timeline named after a guy who invented a temperature scale? What? Never heard of it. Australia bring back Brown for the 8th. And there is a single of the first ball. A dot on the second. It's all fine for England as long as there is at least one boundary in the over. The equation is 53 runs of 40 balls. The third ball is a dot as well. A fourth dot. I think this is risky play by Silver-Brunt. England are still ahead on run rate. They are 8.6 and required is 8.36, but this is risky. This is risky. You need to set up the death overs. You need to lower the required rate as low as you can. The fifth ball is a single. Brown to Silver-Brunt, 1 run. England still ahead of the rate though. Oh, that sounded like that tortured yellow Lamborghini Huracan driving around my city. I'll tell you about that after this over. The last ball of the over is hit by Capsey, and they take 3 runs. They take 3 runs. So I'm living close to a rather important ring road in Hanover, and Hanover has a relatively big scene of what's called posers in German, poser. which is insecure dudes driving relatively expensive cars that are modified to be as loud as possible. And we have a dude here in Hanover who owns a Lamborghini Huracan, 10-cylinder Lamborghini supercar, which has the worst timing ever. This poor car sounds so tortured. All the timing is off. If you know anything about cars, and I don't, and even I notice it, is that what's it called in English? The stuff where the air gets sucked in and the waste heat goes out. The valves, all the valves, the valve timings are so off. It's amazing. He just drove by outside my window, which I have to have open because it's almost 11 o'clock and it's still above 30 degrees. That's around 300 in Kelvin. Right. The 9th over is bowled by Gardner, who is hit for that required boundary of the first ball by Capsey. Then there's a couple of singles, a double, and on the 5th ball she is hit by Capsey for another 4 runs. Yeah, and he's that's my assumption. He tried to tune it and fucked it up. I've seen that car actually shoot a piston out the back behind the driver, because he floored it after on a stoplight, on a traffic light, and he was flooring it, revving it, stuff like that. Light turned green, he kicks it into gear, floors it, and the engine cover behind him explodes, and there's a piston shooting out. Was really interesting. Never seen that before. Well, the 6th ball by Gardner of the 9th over is damage control, as it's only a single. But it brings England to 83 for 2, meaning the current run rate is 9.22, which is 2.02 runs more than the required run rate. Nat Silverbrand on 14 of 13, and Alice Capsey, the absolute star of this partnership, 29 of 16, a strike rate of 181.25. Yeah, Muttley, you're absolutely right. She retained the strike with that single of the last ball of Gardner's over. And we have Annabelle Sutherland returning to the attack, bowling her second over. The first one is a single to Capsey. The second one is a dot to Nat Silverbrunt. I found that interesting. I saw during the last T20 someone ask the ESPN Cricinfo team why they had Nat's first name always there written out during the for the ball by ball, and they said to not have any confusion which Silverbrunt it was. But I think Nat's wife has retired from international cricket, hasn't she, Catherine? I think so. I think so. Anyway. Silverbrunt takes Sutherland for consecutive doubles. Anis, saying Lamborghini is Italian is a bit. It's no, it's not. It's a VW. It's a VW at this point in time. They are owned by VW, as is Audi. And the only Italians they probably kept were the designers for the look. The engineering is all German in Lamborghinis nowadays. Which is why they are better than Ferraris. Anyway. Capsey hits Sutherland for 4 of the last ball of her over, which goes for 10 and takes England to 93 for 2. The current run rate being 9.3 and the required run rate being 6.5. Nat Silverbrunt is 19 of 17 and Alice Capsey is 34 of 18 at a strike rate of 188.88. Yeah, this is looking like a cakewalk from England right now. Interestingly enough, because Matle and me agreed during the innings break that it was hard to call, and then the DLS target came out, and both of us were convinced that this would be a tough ask for England, a really tough ask. And now they're making it look easy, almost. Basically, England are 1-4 away from making this a runner ball game, which is really, really impressive. Yeah, they require 26 runs from 24 balls, 1-4, and I would say, yeah, that's done. That's England's. The 11th over is to be bowled by Georgia Wareham, and she starts with 2 dots to net Sava. Interesting. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Knees, yeah. Yeah, I get that. I get that. Yeah, I would never buy a BMW ever. They're just shit. And they look ugly. And only Bavarians like them. Really much. If you want a German car, get a VW, a VW, a Mercedes, Audi, stuff like that. And I'm talking as someone who doesn't even own who doesn't even have a driver's license. Also, I looked up both Nat Silverbrand and her wife, and I can't find anything about any babies they had. Anyway, Georgia Wareham finishes her over by giving up only 4 runs, which is exactly what Australia need at this stage in the game. At the end of the 11th over, England are 97 for 2, with Capsey 36 of 20 and Nat Silverbrand 21 of 21. And that brings back Megan Shutt to bowl the 12th. And she is hit for 6 of the first ball and then for 4 of the second by Capsey. I think Alice Capsey at this point has a strong claim to player of the match. She's currently 46 of 22 at a strike rate of, as I say it, she is out. Alice Capsey is out. Court Gardner bowled shut 46 at a strike rate of 200 exactly. but she probably set up England to win this. And in a way, it's a shame that she will probably get player of the match. I think the most interesting thing in this match was during the Australian innings when who was it? Ash Gardner was ESPN Cricket Info said caught Jones bowled Silverbrand, but it live looked like she was stumped off a bouncer of a medium bowler. That was amazing, and it's a shame that neither Jones nor Silver will be in the running for player of the match after that 46 by Capsey. Sorry. Yeah, Matley, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. On the other hand, the required run rate is below 5. It's below 5. Yes. And we have the captain, Heather Knight, in at 5, who is off the mark right away, first ball, a single. England need 9 runs in 13 balls. They can get away with 4 dots from here on out. And now Nat Silverbrand has hit shot for a double. I think England will be firm favorites from here on out. End of the 12th over. England women are 111 for 3. Nat Silverbrand 24 of 23 and Heather Knight 1 of 1. The current run rate is 9.25. The required run rate is 4 exactly. I have to remind everyone that this is a match affected by rain, so Duckworth Lewis Stern comes into effect, and England only have 14 overs to play, and the target is 119, meaning England need 8 runs in 12 remaining balls. Well, Georgia Wareham is on to bowl her second over, and she is pushed for a single by Nat Silverbrand, and Knight also takes a single off her on the second ball of the over. 6 in 10 needed. Wareham gets punished by Knight for 4 runs. England need 3 runs in 9 balls. I think it's time to relax, Mudley. I think England have this. To be honest. Don't worry too much. And Wareham gets Knight after... Wait, what? Just a second. No, that's... That has to be... What is going on here? Yeah, that's not Knight. That's Silver Brunt. Wareham has net Silver Brunt out. Yes. Net Silver Brunt is out. Bold Wareham 25. Strike rate of 100. England still require 2 runs from 7 balls. And Amy Jones is in at 6. Wareham answer over with a dot. Yeah. Exactly, Muttley. Exactly, Muttley. That's the point why I was confused, because ESPN Cricket Info is a bit ahead of my video feed, and they had Heather Knight out of a no ball, which is how much can you be any more wrong? Can you be any more wrong in this situation? I challenge you to be any more wrong in this situation. Anyways, at the end of the 13th over, England are 117 for 4, meaning they need 2 from the final over. Heather Knight is 6 of 4 and Amy Jones is none of 1. What do we say? I think England are pretty firm favorites from here on out. Yes. Okay, Muttley. It was more of a rhetorical question, I guess. I'm sorry. Wait, what is going on? Jonathan is back into the attack for Australia, and she has Heather Knight out, LBW, or she has appealed. Heather Knight has appealed, has reviewed the appeal, but replays confirm she is indeed out, LBW. Heather Knight, LBW, Bolt Jonathan, 6, strike rate of 120. Is there still a twist in this tale? It would be incredible. I would say, okay, if Australia can win this from here, okay. Gibson in at 7, and she hits Jonathan for 4 first ball. That's that, done and dusted. England stay alive in the women's Ashes. The ODIs are not pointless. That's the good news. Excellent, excellent stuff from England here. Let's go through the scorecard for the England women. We have Sophia Dunkley caught Jonathan Bolt Brown a 9, Danny White caught Healy Bolt Shut 26, Ned Silver Brunt Bolt Wareham 25, Alice Capsey caught Gardner Bolt Shut 46, Heather Knight LBW Bolt Jonathan 6, Amy Jones not out, none, Danielle Gibson not out for 5 extras, which is 1 leg by and 4 wides, makes in total 13.2 overs, run rate 9.07, 121 for 5. The Australian bowling card. Megan Shutt, 3 overs, no maidens, 35 runs, 2 wickets, economy 11.66. Darcy Brown, 3 overs, no maidens, 18 runs, 1 wicket, economy 6.0. Ashley Gardner, 2 overs, no maidens, 21 runs, no wickets, economy 10.5. Jess Jonathan, 1.2 overs, no maidens, 18 runs, 1 wicket, economy 13.5. Annabelle Sutherland, 2 overs, no maidens, 18 runs, no wickets, economy 9. Georgia Wareham, 2 overs, no maidens, 10 wickets, 10 runs. Yeah, 10 wickets, of course. 10 runs, 1 wicket, economy 5. Meaning England women win by 5 wickets with 4 balls remaining, DLS, because the match was rain affected. They keep the series alive. That was a really, really, really good T20 match. That was a really good T20 match. The stuff you don't really see in men's T20 matches, that I'm still not sure if it was caught or stumped off Ned Silver Brunt dismissal. If it was out caught, it was a very thin edge. But she also wandered out of her crease, and Jones took off the bails. So stumped off a medium pace bowler's bouncer. Where do you get to see stuff like that? Yes. So, England keep the Ashes alive. Very, very good evening. Follow Gorilla Cricket. Follow me. And I'll be back live on Wednesday covering the first ODI in the Women's Ashes. And yeah, thank you everyone who was watching. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Matley. Thank you, Anis, for livening up the chat a bit. Thank you very much. Let's see if we have any Twitter interactions to end the day. No, not really. Let's see when is the next match. Yes. The next match is at Bristol on Wednesday, the 12th of July, 2 p.m. my time, I think, meaning GMT +1. So, thank you everyone. Have a good night. And until Wednesday. Bye.